Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Counterattack. It's been a few years, but we're thrilled to be back with you here with our partners at Overnight. Greg Meskel here with you. And we're back weekly sharing all the big news, the highlights, the interviews, everything that makes USA Water Polo and our water polo community great. We'll have it for you right here on Overnight every week. And we get started with a jam packed show. We've got lots of highlights. We'll hear from USA men's national team head coach Dejan Udovicic, recently re-signing. We've got finalists for the Men's Catino Award. We look at Team USA, both the men and the women in action in January. Earlier this month, they were abroad. So a lot to talk about. But let's start first in the college game. Women's college water polo underway and a big event out in Bloomington. We head to the pool at Indiana University. Some top teams competing. This was a good one between IU and UCSB. Early on, Annie Kuster converting for the Gauchos. And then Kuster, right place, right time, pick it up, put it home. And UC Santa Barbara showing off their offense early on. Now a little defense here. Hoosiers on the attack, but Ava Donlevy is ready. A little fist pump there from Ava. And then more goalkeeping from the Gauchos. A little soft redirect there. Donlevy all over it. Now let's talk Hoosiers. This is Skylar Kidd moving in, takes something off of it. The lob is on the money. And the Hoosiers stay on the attack. This would be a back and forth battle. Here's the lefty, Louisa Downs, fading and hitting. More Indiana. Grace Hathaway loaded up low. Skipper cross cage. That works. More Hathaway. We go the other way. She hits. Now down to the wire here. 9-9 the score. Final moments. Hoosiers. They'll turn to a veteran, Nicole Tyner. See her posting up there on the inside. Tyner takes the cat, turn and fire, and that'll do it. Indiana, they get the win 10-9. The bench loving it as Indiana picks up a critical victory there in the early stages of this year. Here's a look at day one from the Indiana Classic. Some other results. Hoosiers over Salem, CSUN, and Indiana also squaring off. And good to see McKendree, our hearts with that McKendree program after the recent passing of Coach Colleen, and good to see them back in the water and picking up the win here. We'll be thinking about them all season long, 15-5. Let's go to day two in the Indiana Classic. More results here from B-Town. Remember, Indianapolis will play host to the NCAA Women's Championship this May. So looking forward to being in the Hoosier State come this May. More results. There was that nail-biter between IU and UCSB. CSUN all over Merced, and another dub for McKendree defeating Carthage 15-7. Now we go West Coast out to the Cal Cup in Berkeley. This was an exhibition, but anytime UCLA and Stanford get together, you got to pay attention. Olympian Jenna Flynn there converting on the 5-meter. And now let's talk Bruins. That's Molly Renner hitting on the power play. Back, now we go to Stanford, another 5-meter. Barone doesn't need the bar, able to convert there. And now Bruins. This one was tight down the end, 13-12 Cardinal, not anymore. Lily Guess, right place, right time, evens it up at 13. Last looks now for Stanford. A chance here with one just off the post from Barone. Bruins cover up, and we end in a draw. Remember, it does not count towards the standings. These two will get together in official matches later on, but what an appetizer to get things going for the women's college water polo season. Here's a look at the Cal Cup results. Stanford over Cal 13-8. Fresno State, Long Beach State, a nail biter there. And Fresno State gets the win 15-14. Stanford also knocking off UC Davis. Let's move to day two in Berkeley over at Speaker. Stanford, Long Beach, UCLA in the win column over Fresno State. Also USA Academy, some up-and-comers getting a chance to compete in the Cal Cup event and coming up short there against some established college programs. Speaking of up-and-comers in the world of USA water polo, let's go to Texas. ODP regionals taking place in the Dallas, Texas area. Zones from around the country coming together to compete in some great facilities in Texas. Again, this is not like the ODP National Championship, so not about necessarily medals and championships, but just a great opportunity for athletes to develop on that path through the ODP pipeline. Tons of great opportunities to compete, and we saw some good competition. And now Team USA right back in the pool to start off the new year. The USA women, they headed to Greece. This was World Cup Division I qualification action. Very young squad for Team USA competing. Just a couple of returning Olympians in this one. As you saw, Amanda Longan, Jovana Sekulic, and Tara Prentice all capping up for Team USA. Chrissy Flynn, the younger sister of an Olympian, Jenna Flynn, we just saw her in her earlier highlights. She played well in Greece. Charlotte Raisin also staying busy for Team USA. She has kept up for quite a few USA squads over the last 18 months or so. It was tough sledding, though. This was a really young USA squad, a lot of rising stars, but going up against some very established teams, and ended up only getting just one win, defeating Israel. You're seeing highlights here from their win over Israel as they went 1-5, and with that failed to qualify for the World Cup later this year. But the team still does have the World Championships on their schedule in Singapore. So a big event coming up for Team USA. And again, you'll see some more veterans, some familiar faces as we get into the summer, capping up for Team USA. But what a great development opportunity. Same story for the men. They went to Romania in January, and they were taking part in their version of the Division I World Cup qualifier. Started off great, wins over Japan and Romania, but much like the women, took a younger squad, some guys that are getting their first opportunity with Team USA. They ended up finishing 2-3. Some names you know: Adrian Weinberg, Max Irving, Chase Dodd, Dylan Woodhead, Marko Vavic, plus Tyler Abramson. He's been with the team for a number of years. They all capped up in this event. And then some new names. Ryan Ohl making his senior team debut, getting a big chance there, playing well. How about the debut of the Catino Award winner, the former UCLA Bruin, Nicholas Savalic? He's a big-time offensive piece that the USA squad is happy to have. And then the return of Jake Earhart, the former standout at USC. He's also gotten into the college coaching game recently. So a mixture of some veterans coming back from that bronze medal performance in Paris, and also some newcomers. But a reminder, these are development rosters that were put together. I know some fans saw the results and said, wait a minute, I thought there was a bronze medal in Paris. What's happening? The women usually vying for a medal, they only win once. A great development chance. The results do mean that both the men and the women don't qualify for the World Cup. But like we said, the World Championships coming up, you'll see some more veteran rosters for those. And it's the start of a quadrennial, a great chance for more athletes to get involved in the pipeline and chase their dreams, whether it be LA in 28, 2032, and beyond. And if you saw familiar faces on the sideline, well, the coaches, they're back, re-signed through the LA 28 games. Dejan Udovicic, Adam Krikorian back to lead their respective national teams. Coach, you embarking on his fourth Olympic quadrennial with Team USA, of course, getting them back on the podium in Paris for the first time since 2008. We'll hear from him a little bit later on in the show. And then Adam Krikorian, his run, nothing short of legendary. 3 gold medals for Team USA, just seconds away from being back on the podium in Paris. They end up with a 4th place finish, certainly not where they wanted to be. We're planning to talk with Coach K next week here on the show. So launching things here on the Counterattack, hearing from both of our national team coaches and hearing about their plans for the next 4 years, and also looking back at what transpired over the summer. Sticking with our Team USA theme, let's talk Catino Award finalists on the men's side. You know, the women's season's just getting underway. For the men, their finalists were announced. Ryder Dodd, the star for UCLA, and of course Team USA. Max Miller, a veteran, super fun guy to watch at USC. And then the high-scoring Mihailo Vukovic for University of the Pacific. I know some UOP fans feel vindication. Mihailo was not on the Catino Award watch list, but now he is a finalist. Many also feel Ryder Dodd going to be tough for him not to win this award. 102 goals as a freshman, led UCLA to the NCAA championship. He's certainly a favorite, but we'll find out. We'll have the live broadcast of the Catino Award coming up this June from the Olympic Club in San Francisco, right here live on Overnight. And of course, we'll also have the women's finalists once their season is complete. Now let's talk about our big conversation this week. We checked in with USA men's national team head coach Dejan Udovicic. As we just showed you, both Coach Udovicic, Coach K, resigning with Team USA through the LA 28 Olympic Games. So exciting times for Team USA, stability for both of those programs. We caught up with Coach Udovicic to talk about Paris, reflect on a huge result for Team USA, talk about what went on in Romania, picking some younger players and who impressed the coaching staff, who are some rising stars we might see in the future, and of course, look down the road. What do the next 4 years look like for Team USA? So here's that chat with Coach Udovicic. We're so excited to have our first interview on our brand new Counterattack with Greg Meskel here on Overnight, and joining us, the head coach of the USA men's Olympic water polo team, back for 4 more years, Dejan Udovicic. Coach, so good to talk with you. Good to have you back for 4 more years. Thanks for stopping by to talk with us.
Thank you, Greg, for having me.
Coach, I first want to go back to Paris. It was such an amazing moment, and just kind of talk to you a bit about what was such a triumphant couple of weeks there in France, and obviously helping the men get back to the podium. Can you take us back to that bronze medal game and that shootout, and just what was kind of going through your mind when you realized that the team is going to come away with the medal?
I think it's good memories for sure. It still is, it's we're looking back with great honor what we did and what the guys did. I think that as a coach was good to see that team successfully regroup after the semis, you know, and we play a decent game. We had some little bit, bad moments in the beginning of the fourth quarter, but you know, if you look back, I think that we control majority of the game. So, uh, you know, shootout. Everybody saw that was, everybody gonna remember that in the next 50 years for sure. It's the way how that ended. It's very, unusual to be said, especially for Hungarians who are well known as great shooters. That we won that 3-0. They didn't score the goal, so it is good. And as you said in the beginning, looking forward for the upcoming 4 years to make bigger and better in LA 28. So this is only focus and main focus for us, starting from let's say from 1 month after we finish Paris.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and I've talked to you about this before. You have a bigger goal, right? The job is not done. You want to get to the top of that podium in Los Angeles. But so many guys have been a part of this journey to get from where you started to where you are right now. And I was thinking of the guys that have been a part of the team a long time. Someone like Alex Obert, who announced his retirement, but guys like Bowen and Halleck and Irving, Luca. I know, just talking to you in Paris, there was a real excitement. You felt really proud that these guys were able to kind of get to that place where they won a medal. What was that like for you to see these guys that had put so much time in, and the new guys too? Not to take anything away from them, right? But the ones that had been in it a long time, to be able to see a result like that. What did that mean to you as their coach?
Means a lot, and when I'm looking those pictures, photos from this press conference beginning of the Paris Olympic Games started, that those photos are very unique, and very special for me, and what I said then, I'm still thinking the same thing. I'm really proud of those guys. Huge time we spent together, and to return back, and this is like, this whole process, like a newborn baby, Then you start walking and start running this, Never is gonna be ideal, had ups and downs, what is normal, But it's, as a coach, at that moment, I was really pleased where we are. I mean, I'm looking them, not just how they improve in water polo as a game, how they became good persons, respected persons where they're playing, families, the people surrounding them. It's a huge thing to see that, that's pure, evident that as a coach you should be proud of yourself, to
No doubt.
share those moments and everything with those young people.
Now, you wasted no time getting right back into it, right? The new quad starts, and there was competition earlier this month in Romania, and I know the result wasn't what maybe fans were hoping for, but tell us a bit about the way that that team came together, because I think the person that was watching in Paris said, "Wait a minute, I thought we won a bronze medal, and now we didn't play very well." But people might not realize that it was a very young team. It was an opportunity for guys that had never played with the national team to get a chance before to play at a high level internationally. What was valuable for you and the team in that experience, and guys getting a chance to show you what they can do?
Yeah. You know, this competition, what we played in Bucharest, just it was good example for me as a coach to see, especially those young players, which we are counting for upcoming quad, and maybe not just 4 years ahead of us, maybe all 8 years for two Olympic cycles. So it's a new game, on 25 meters. So to be honest, that was our main plus for us to see those guys, new guys. We show ourselves in some, let's say, mixed roster, which is totally logical after the Olympic Games, because first year after the quad is done, we got so many players who are playing in Europe. They're a little bit tired. They want to go, to have a little bit more rest. They didn't have too much rest, to be honest, after the Olympics in Paris, because they returned back or less than three weeks, maybe 1 month, to their clubs in Europe. So we make the roster, which we were thinking that moment is the best for us to, to see what potential and talents we have for the future with some, experienced players. What we played, in Paris. So we have only 3 players and plus goalie, so who play in Paris. So everybody else are newcomers or the first time plays for the United States. So I'm pleased what we saw, and of course, result was not priority for us right now. We try to play every game best as we can, but it's some teams came with the full rosters, what they played in Paris, and for us, we already qualified through Paris for the World Championship, in Singapore, upcoming summer. So from that side, we didn't have that push that we need to go and show up in the best roster as we can.
I know it was only one event, but out of those young guys, out of those new guys, coach, was there a guy or a couple of guys that impressed you and really showed you that they have a bright future?
I think it's easy. It's not. It's only one tournament, and we have a few practice back in the States in December. It's not easy to judge them, and we're not going to judge them after one tournament, either 2 tournaments or 3 tournaments. It's a huge process, but they got talents. We talk a lot with them in person, individually. So it's I think that. As from these newcomers, we're expecting the majority of them will be, considered realistically for 2028, and some youngers, especially those 2 centers, which we bring Corbin Stanley and Dominic Brown. We're looking for them for sure. That there should be, our focus that they will play, more Olympics than just one.
So it's the start of the quad. You mentioned the World Championships in Singapore this summer. What do the next few years look like? How do you go about getting ready for the LA Olympics? You mentioned it's a process. It's a big plan. What are you looking to accomplish this year on that road to Los Angeles?
Yeah, this upcoming first year as 2025, it's always like Olympic Games is done. It's always is up and down, as I said. Because a lot of players want to take a year off, trying figuring how, as you said, ask how those 3 or 4 years going to look for them personally also, and we need to be on the same page. So we're talking a lot with the players, trying to figure what is the best for us, what is the best for everyone. We're still like calling this work in progress, to be honest. So right now, 2025 World Championship, in Singapore, we are still waiting for World Aquatics to let us know on which rules or what rules we're going to play. Hopefully they're going to be, clarified until end of the February, beginning of March, not latest that one, so that we'll know are we going to play 25 meters with the new rules, or we're going to return back on the old rules, what was played in Paris, which is huge different. I'm not saying there's Everybody knows that, and just picking up the players, different momentum, different kind of players, different kind of preparation and everything. So, it's still in work in progress. So for us right now, it's they were going to try to use 25 and 26, 2025 and 2026 as the years that we can collect and bring much as we can those newcomers to be united in the group which we already have from Paris and who will continue to play to 2028, that we will know exactly to pick up another, last 18 players, when we're going to supposed to start 2027, because in 2027 we need to have that, group of 80 players that we're going to go until the end of the LA 2028. So this is the light trial that's on the Blitz plan, what we're trying. So next 2025 and 2026 will be, developing and growing, especially the years for newcomers, and try to adjust a new game if you're gonna stay 25 meters, and we're gonna try to give them much as we can common practice with the foreign teams, more more international games, etc., that we will have more, data and see how they're going to react and how they're going to behave and play in those games. Because, right now, LA 2028 is at home. That's a good thing. On the other side, it's putting us in position that we need to try to look for opponents to have common practice and have more games, because we will not have so much games until then. So right now, we got 2025, we got only World Championship. 2026, we got only World Cup. 2027, we got only World Championship and the possibility as a World Cup, because this still is in the air, not decided what's going to happen with that one. So, and 2028, 2027, we don't have right now any obligation to play Pan-Ams to qualify, because we already qualified. So we need to try to adjust, working in progress. I had a few meetings last couple of days we already trying to prepare that we will be on track in the right moment. And I just want to say one thing, to don't sound that we are, arrogant, after the Paris, we won bronze, and we're right now looking for a, higher podium position. We're looking for the gold. It's a normal approach.
Sure.
We are playing at home. It's not just we are, arrogant, and we are not that we don't respect our opponents. No, it's normal. It's it's normal for everyone who is hosting Olympic Games at home, that they're gonna look for the best position and the highest result as possible.
Of course, why wouldn't you want to win, right? That's the whole point of this thing, to try and perform as well as you can. You mentioned guys in Europe. We've talked about this before, but it's been a big shift, I'd say, over the last 6 years with the national team. Guys post college really embracing that European club system. Currently, guys playing with some really, really good teams. Of course, Bowen in Spain, Halleck, Italy. We know Max Irving's exploits. The list goes on. Dylan Woodhead. How important has it been for the development of each player individually to play with those great club teams? And then I assume we've seen it benefit your team.
Huge plus for us, and I need to thank again the players who dedicate their time and their lives and follow idea to go abroad more than before ever. So, we were aware that unfortunately we cannot give them what we are thinking it's needed in States. We cannot create this competition in States on that high level, what they can find in Europe. From year to year, step by step, they start to play from better clubs to be more respected, play a higher level of game and everything. So it's a huge impact for us. Don't count just the players who play in Paris. We had from A and B list. We had last year more than 22, 23 players who play abroad. That never happened. So totally right now, everybody is aware in our water polo community in home, that going abroad and playing in Europe is beneficiary for everyone. let's say, for three parties. For USA Water Polo for national team, for themselves individual, and for those clubs who are playing which they are playing in Europe. So I'm I'm sure that we're going to continue the direction, and we will figuring out how to make that even better.
One guy that didn't play club because he's younger and was in college, Ryder Dodd. We just had the Catino Award finalists announced. Probably the least surprising announcement of all time that he was one of the three finalists. Certainly a favorite to win that honor. I want to ask you about his progression from when you first saw him at a practice to where he is now. It has not been that long of a period of time, and he has quickly risen up the ranks to be an important part of your team, but also one of the best players in the college game. What have you seen from him and his progression over the last 2 years?
Huge talent, the first one who show up in States after Ben Halleck. And that's very rare to find. Not that he's super far skilled, his IQ for the game, how he's seeing the game, even if he's, the most younger player who played for us in Paris, it's high level, and I'm sure that, the announcement on the Coutinho Award is just formality, so in upcoming days or this month, because he was so dominant this season, in college. So, and this is just one who is coming for him as a trophy, as a award in his, his, let's say young, period of the playing seriously game and a professional game. So it's a huge thing. He get a huge impact on us. He helped us a lot, that also the coaching staff, we're figuring out how to use him in the best way, what he can give to us to help us that we minimize some of our things, what we did in the past, and we complicated some things. So he make them much simpler and simplified. So, it's very helpful. He got a lot of, upcoming, hours and working, months ahead of him and years he got, gap also to grow more and develop, which is great thing. He didn't hit the ceilings, yet, which is normal, but we are glad that he's part of our team, and he will, it's a huge thing, to see that talent who is so hungry, for a ball and for score and compete in general. So on the other side, I'm all my life in water polo, so I passed and or was with so many different ages of the players and everyone. When I was young, he's so unique, and I'm hoping that he will stay unique in more years, ahead of us, and keep what he has, but he needs to work also. He needs to grow. He needs to develop. But a huge talent, and one in the, after the Ben Halleck, he is the most talented player that I saw in the States in last, for sure, 30 years.
You talked a bit about the event you just played in Romania and the new rules, and will those be in Worlds or not? I know it's a shorter course. I was curious, is there things you like about those rules, things you don't like? What's your take on that, or do you prefer the old style? Just curious, after one event, how you feel about that change.
I'm aware that every game needs to change from while to while, and we are talking about the change of the games in water polo for few years in the past, and I'm not against that, to be honest. I think in general that for us in water polo is more important to change something and try to change what is not involved, and not to just partially think about the rules in water polo. I think that our biggest change should be outside of water polo, how we're treating our sport in general, not out with just the rules, So in that said, I was very clear. We had one meeting in Bucharest with the president of World Aquatics and all those top executives. So honest and open meeting, I said that I am not against the change. I think that 25 meters is too short. I think at 27 and 28 should be some, logical, for both genders, On the other side, we are just collecting the data, after those games what we played in Bucharest. So we'll know more in upcoming months when we collect more games and everything, where and how we're supposed to, as a coaching, point of view, what we should do, But I just don't think, no, that I just didn't like how, the general, the decision to change the game and put this 25 meters and all those another changes which going, including with this one, was shared with the waterproof community generally. I don't think that that was fair. Another thing, I'm thinking also that ideal timing is not, speaking immediately, because as you know right now, we played those tournament in Bucharest and the girls playing in Greece, and our players play on these new rules, and they are returning back to the land for their clubs in Europe, and they're going to continue to play the old rules. So it's not easy to handle, So we'll see what's going to happen. This is out of my reach. We will have some discussions more, but we'll see what they're going to decide, But for sure, it's more exciting for the spectators. It's more goals scored, But I don't think that the goals scored, what we exactly were talking about, the Bucharest, are a result of some big quality. I think that the goals was typically scored in Bucharest is more as a result of the big mistakes by the players, and didn't have the opportunity to fix those mistakes in the field of the play. And some of the players, what we saw also, the dynamic of the game changed, and everything right now is super fast, and the players get so quick tired, especially in beginning on second quarter. So this is something for us, for the coaches, to think about that, what we should do, if those rules stays. But in generally, I think the 27, 28 meters should be, if you're asking me directly, but if you decide they're going to be 25, we need to adjust and try to figure out what is the best, But our goal will remain the same if you're asking me directly for upcoming, Olympic Games.
Gotcha.
Doesn't matter if you're going to play 25 or 30 meters. So it's just the way it is, I think also that we should think what that those games show us that we'll need to think about the type of the players, what we need for the future for 25 meters.
One of the guys that made their debut with you, we talked about Ryder Dobb being a finalist for the Catino Award. A prior Catino Award winner, Nicholas Savalic, made his debut at the senior level at a big event. I was curious, college water polo fans certainly know him. Now to see him with Team USA, just one event, but what has you excited about bringing him onto the team and seeing what he might be able to add?
Yeah. It's new flesh player, with a different philosophy what we had in the past on that left side, especially left side. But I think that he has a quality to play multiple positions, not just the left side as a primary one, And it's good to have him finally. We talked with him a couple of years back, but right now we are in a situation that he's eligible to play. And I think that he played better than we expected, and now he's in Montenegro playing for professionally, and we'll go from there.
We got ODP boys championships coming up, and you look at your roster now, and so many of those guys came through that system. You saw them as a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old, right? And now they're a part of the group. How key is that program and of course the championships coming up to helping you and the rest of the staff identify who the next big players might be for Team USA?
ODP is a huge thing for us, full credit to Guy Baker, who funded this one, who created. From the moment I came, we modified few things, which is benefits because it's normal thing. But Guy Baker did, initially, and build that program. And so huge credit to him. On the other side, what I like it from ODP, every year is better and better. It's competitive, and the players also in the coaches are taking all the program more seriously than year before. It's going more professionally, more precisely, more structurally what we needed. So I'm expecting also from this ODP, that we will have for sure a great group finalists for this summer. What we're gonna pick, that we can count from them, right now, especially few of them we can count on them that they can play for 2042 and Brisbane Olympic Games. This is where it should be, and this is in the direction where we are going. But huge credit for everyone who are involved in ODP because this is a huge system. We got a lot of zones, we got a lot of coaches, a lot of kids, and people probably don't know we are limiting the number every year who can apply and how much we can apply, how we can fill the kids who wants to join the ODP. Beside that, what we did is a couple of years back we created a parallel system to be better, like every people who are, trying to take care in the best interests of our sport. We created the academy, which is bringing us to a little bit on a higher level, and that we can have better obstructive, what we can do, with the players and how we can, make them better, and that's something what right now on the men's side, it's in the hand of the great coach Jack Cocker, which I truly trust, and we are more than fine, where we are right now. Hopefully, if this decision for road aquatic stays that we're gonna play on 25 meters, we need to do some adjustment in the future, but this is on us.
Good stuff. I want to end on a fun one. Last question for you, because I know we both enjoy the sport of basketball. Every a couple of weeks, someone will send us a video of Nikola Jokic making a pass or a tip that they say is like a water polo type move. What kind of water polo player would this guy be if you could get him in the pool, Coach? How would the Joker perform in at 2 meters?
I don't think that he will play 2 meters. He can play,
No?
I don't know. He can play everything right now. So he's great IQ for the game. He's showing every night, every second night in NBA. So he's really enjoying, to watch. I watched this morning, against they play against 76ers, So it's. I don't think that he will play center.
No?
I
More
think
of
that
like a
he can
utility,
be,
or where do you see him?
yeah, something like utility, like maybe, how we used Luca Cupido, maybe something like that, But I think it's just playing him center with what he's showing in basketball, that we're gonna just limited him and wasted some of his talents, But it's great to have him in that game, and I'm usually sometimes I'm using him as example to when I'm talking to my players, how they should think in the game and how should anticipate some things and to see something, ahead of the opponents. It's very important right now, and so it's really enjoyable to watch him, and looking forward to another MVP title.
Yeah. When you see some of those highlights, does it make you think water polo? When you see some of the outlets or some of the tips, does that remind you of the game of water polo?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Especially
Excellent.
he's playing both hands, left hand, those
Yeah.
tips, everything. It's really, it's really nice. It's look easy, but
Yeah.
it's simple.
Yeah.
When it's
Yeah.
simple, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. Hey, Coach, thanks for taking some time with us. And we're looking forward to seeing you and Team USA back on the pool deck here soon, especially this summer.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Thank you.
Big thanks to Coach Udovicic once again for joining us. Hopefully, with the Joker, maybe another NBA player into the water polo pool soon. We know water polo fans often big time hoop heads as well. Also, don't forget next week we'll have a chat with Adam Krikorian right here on the counterattack. Now let's look at what's coming up. Busy times ahead in the world of water polo. Of course, more college water polo. You've got the Midwest invite back out to Indiana University February 8th and 9th. That'll be live on Overnight. More overnight fun. National League Week 1 in Southern California. The Willett Aquatic Center, Edison High School will have more information on the NL next week, but this will be February 7th through the 9th on Overnight. And then the following weekend out to ASU in Tempe, the Cross Conference Invitational, February 15th, 16th, also on Overnight. From there, we go to our Momston Goal of the Week, a weekly feature we have here. We go back to the ODP Regionals. Check out my man Zen Lee, Rocky Mountain Neptune, put it home one time for the 12U squad. Love to see it. Good stuff, Zen. Be sure to share your goals with us. You can send us a direct message at USAWP, Instagram, X, Facebook, and we'll look to share some of your content. You can also hit up the Overnight social channels as well, and we'll look to highlight some of your big goals here on the show. That'll do it for this week's program. Thanks so much for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you right back here next week and every week. And don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, look weak side.